Jeff and Thor in Marvel Rivals Season 2.5 are getting massive ability reworks. They're completely changing, especially in Jeff's case. A lot of people were worried that this was a massive nerf for Jeff, but after watching this, you're going to see that the differences are actually quite interesting, and I'd love to hear your opinions on whether you think this is a good change for both these characters or not. Now, we got a video here to play, but I want to read through the dev notes first to kind of give a bit more of a context on what's going on here. So, let's talk about Thor first. With Hammer Throw removed from the shared ability pool and now recovering lightning energy on hit, so that's the long-range attack. In the past, you would need to get Thor Force to use it, but now that is a separate ability that can be used to get Thor Force, just like the normal melee. So this is really opening up a lot more opportunities for Thor. Thor can rapidly cycle through Awakening Rune, Hammer Throw, and Mjolnir Bash to quickly build up energy. I know I butchered that, man. It's a hard word to say. Let's just call it Thor's Hammer, all right? Thor's Hammer Bash to quickly build up energy and maintain Awakening Rune for longer durations. Additionally, Thor can now utilize Hammer Throw's long-range energy recovery to his advantage. First, repositioning with Storm Surge to high ground or flanks, then following up with Hammer Throw and Awakening Rune as strong range damage output. So, basically, having a bit more long range on Thor. I think that's going to be good. He's a pretty good character, but he feels a little bit difficult to play around sometimes because you're forced into only doing melee at times. And obviously, this is going to make things even more fluid, getting you into the Awakening Rune mode as fast as possible. So that's pretty good. Now, let's talk about Jeff. I think those are the bigger changes, and then we'll take a look at the video. As for Jeff, the initial balance update mistakenly showed a non-final version of his changes. So a lot of people saw a bit of footage online and got very worried. Turns out that's not everything. We've now corrected the announcement. We've also improved the feel of Joyful Splash, increasing its water flow speed for smoother control. So I guess as you move your aim around, it's going to be a bit more fluid. In the updated version, Joyful Splash now pierces both allies and enemies. Okay, so you're going to be able to attack multiple targets at once. Yes, the primary attack will do damage now and heal multiple targets at once, healing teammates while damaging opponents. With this change, Jeff now charges his ultimate faster, making combos like the Sharknado of Storm or solo initiations more effective than ever. So they're kind of trying to get rid of the flanker Jeff playstyle a little bit and give him more power as a just straight on healer and damage dealer. We've noticed the enthusiastic discussions around Thor and Jeff following the balance update for Season 2.5. To provide more clarity on our design intentions and showcase their new abilities and performance in the upcoming season, we prepared the following video. So let's first start with the Thor video here. Thor's abilities tweaks. So he's in his awakened mode here. And as you can see, the Hammer Throw is now going to charge his Thor Force. It's kind of going to be an extra attack alongside the primary melee. So it can charge up his hammers, his hammer usage, which is really cool. And you're going to be able to shift and then get a long-range attack with the Hammer Throw, and then you can shift again off that. So this is going to allow him to get into his Awakening mode more often. And it's going to definitely give him a lot more consistent damage output. A little look at the new map here as well. Interesting. I'm quite curious to see what you Thor players think about this. I think there's no other thing to say other than this is just straight up buff, you know? And now the Jeff rework. Now this one is going to be a lot more significant. And I think a lot of people are going to be... Well, I don't know. Like, I know there's a lot of flanker Jeff players out there, and I'd really love for you to watch this video and then give your opinions, because I think there's some pretty interesting things going on here. So, as you can see, damage from the primary. It will pierce through allies, and unlike Lunar Snow, they don't need to be full health to do it. So, like, watch this again, right? The ally is not got full health. It's going to pierce through both targets and deal damage and heal at the same time. Now, this is going to allow you to charge your ult a lot faster because you're dealing damage and healing simultaneously. You can damage multiple targets at once here. And it looks like the Aqua Burst has completely changed. Sorry, not Aqua Burst. The Joyful Splash. Is it called Aqua Burst? I can't remember. The secondary attack. The normal damage dealing attack, which in the past had a reload mechanic, Now it has 3 charges, as you can see in the bottom of the screen. 3 charges. And it takes, I think, 3 seconds per charge to recharge. So it's a separate ability now, and it's not on his reload. But as you can see, when you hit someone with it, it will displace them and knock them up. You can knock flyers out of the sky and knock up players. And I believe it does more damage as well. 5 extra damage is not massive. Yeah, Jeff's healing potential here is going to be really, really strong now. Look at this. There's going to be so many bottlenecks where you're going to be able to get up so much more healing. Is that a fast movement there? Interesting. And then, yeah, you know, the clip there. And, the BM. The BM from the dev there. That's funny. So, I want to go through the patch notes for Jeff just a little minute, because I think it's important to highlight what's going on here. So let's read this. It's important to get a bit more clarification here about the specific ability changes. There's a few things in here that aren't explained in that small video. So it's a massive rework. Obviously, new effect to Joyful Splash. Now also deals damage to enemies. So the Joyful Splash is the primary attack. It does 70 damage a second and can heal allies through allies and enemies, right? Damage fall off starts at 20 meters to a maximum of 65% at 40 meters. So it does have damage fall off. And the healing per second has gone down from 150 to 130. And then Aqua Burst, I was correct with the ability name for that one. Aqua Burst, the secondary, is no longer, I think, an 8-round attack that you can reload. It's got 3 charges, and each charge will take 3 seconds to recharge. And a direct hit on an enemy with Aqua Burst will launch players up, enemies. And we saw in that footage there that it can also knock flyers out of the sky, or at least displace them for a small time. And the spell field damage has increased from 40 to 45. So you're not needing to spam the Aqua Burst ability anymore as the main damage, because the Water Jet, the primary attack, Joyful Splash, does damage. So yes, whilst they have removed the damage potential of the secondary, they've given him more damage potential. So overall, this is a very significant rework. They've moved around his abilities a little bit. I'm not really sure of the pure damage output compared to what it once was. But I think overall, this is quite an interesting, fun change. It's going to allow Jeff to actually compete as a strategist and a healer, more so than a flanking DPS. Like, maybe that role is still possible. We'll see. But, well, I don't know. Changes the effect of healing bubble from one-time healing to healing over time. Yeah, so let's be honest. As much as a lot of DPS Jeffs won't like this, like to hear this, it was a little bit frustrating to deal with, a Jeff that's basically impossible to kill, because you just stay underground all the time, pop bubbles, and constantly heal up. So the healing amount is 120 now, but it's over 4 seconds. So you actually get more healing, but it's just over time instead of instant. And the max charges has gone from 6 to 3. And the enemy launch up effect is no longer there. That's kind of been moved to his his Aqua Burst ability. And there's a new effect to when he's underground. It now has an energy cap that drains by 20 seconds while submerged and restores 15 seconds when not. So I'm going to assume that he can only get a certain amount out of it before he has to come out of ground. So we can't stay underground forever. And his ultimate now does overflow healing on swallowed allies. It grants bonus health. So if you eat an ally, you can actually give them bonus health now. If they're full health, they'll come out of his mouth with a bit of extra health. And the critical damage has been reduced. Increased damage reduction received. So this is quite a weird way to write it. But basically, increased damage reduction received. So when you take a critical hit, instead of taking 50% damage, you now take you're now taking 30% damage. It's a bit confusing. Increase the damage reduction received. So basically, increase the damage reduction received when taking a critical hit. So from the way I understand that, and do correct me if I'm wrong, less critical damage going to Jeff right now. And the energy cost for Jeff's ultimate, I mean, that makes sense. It's a almost 10% increase, but he's going to get more energy and ultimate charge very quickly because he can heal through multiple targets at once and deal damage. So what do you think about these changes? Let me know, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio.